Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of She Said, He Said. This is Rob, and I have Neka with me today. She's the only one that can make it.
Lone Ranger.
Yo, the whole crew was ready, and then, Vixen had a freaking thunderstorm, so her internet went down. K-Star had to work, so she couldn't do it. I don't know where the heck Alex is. Brother-in-law is handling fatherly duties. So, there you have it.
You need, Robert. I'm the only one you need.
Oh, if life were that simple. Anyway, today's topic is a really important topic and a really good topic. Something that we both experienced, and that is what the old people call it, shacking up or moving in before marriage. Good idea or bad idea, and just our thoughts and feelings about it.
Robert, look, you're not gonna let me in with that debacle. I didn't shack. I didn't shack before I was married.
She said debacle.
They spent the night, several nights in a row before we got married.
That is very, very technical and highly inaccurate. All right. This mug said, okay, so explain yourself. Excuse me. Are you eating on the show?
No. Can you hear that smacking?
Yes, and there's a camera that shows your face. I don't know if you realize that. So when you're... I'm going to go first because Nika's stuffing her face.
That's like my old woman. You know how old people, they have that
yeah.
Even after they finish eating something. I'm getting old, man. It's horrible.
We are getting old. I told you.
Habits and stuff. This is ridiculous.
I'm about to be wearing shorts above the knees after a while, yo. About 2 more years.
Let me tell you, my mom's shorts, I'm already ready for them. Already ready for them.
All right, y'all. So my personal opinion on the topic of moving in before marriage. I know a lot of people would probably disagree, but I think it's a really good idea. If y'all don't move in, y'all need to spend a lot of intimate time together in each other's environments to learn about the other person. My last relationship, we lived separately, and looking at her rent and my rent, I'm like, yo, we might as well get a house. Like, between her rent and my rent, we were at like $2,000, which is about a $250,000 house. So I'm like, and then beyond that, I was probably spending in a 7-day week, I was probably spending 4 to 5 of those nights at her house anyway. She didn't like coming to my place because I had a roommate. My roommate was never there. She was cool with him. That's one of my closest friends, but she just wanted her privacy or whatever, because she wanted to be nasty. Just kidding. But yeah, so now this is the thing. You gotta be smart about it. So I'm a very realistic person, and I like to look at things through to the end. So I was gearing myself up to buy a house for me. So I put that on hold because she said she didn't know she wanted to buy a house or not. Then I started my DJ business. Then she was like, oh, I want to buy a house. I'm like, okay, well, you buy the house. I'm not buying a house, And then, so she bought a house, and I told her to make sure to buy a house that she could afford. I was like, I can't predict the future. I'm not dooming our relationship, but I want to make sure that you're good with this and that, you're buying something you can afford or whatever. Because, I'm simple. It had a man cave, so that's all I needed. So we moved in. I forget how long we were together before I moved in there. Probably very close to a year. She didn't tell her parents for a couple months either. It was hilarious. But there was a whole... She was scared. But there is a whole... She's scared. She was scared of their opinion and what they were going to think.
Because she knew that would have been considered what? Inappropriate. Her parents would consider that inappropriate.
I assume so. But, and I asked, like 3 to 4 months leading up to, I continuously asked, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Because I was good. I had my man, you know, I had my own personal space, my own apartment. Rent was cheap. You know, I was good with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm not moving in if you're going to be comfortable and it's going to cause all these complications. She kept reassuring me that she was cool with it, so I moved in. When you live with someone, ladies and gentlemen, when you live with someone, you find out who they really are. And when I say who they really are, not that they're faking with you, but you find out, you get a glimpse into your own future. That's the person you plan on being with, because when you live with someone, you can't hide anything. You can't, unless you're an idiot, you can't hide anything from someone that you're living with. I mean, unless they're an idiot. So, needless to say, we realized that we weren't right for each other. Cause I saw a lot of stuff that I didn't like. She saw stuff that she didn't like, and there was a huge unwillingness to compromise. So I'm like, well, hell, if this is what my life is gonna look like and my future is gonna look like, I don't want it. And she felt the same way. So I just could imagine, you know, had we gotten engaged and gotten married, then moved in and saw that, how much different it would have been and what would have been the results. Because I would have been going out of my mind. I'd have been going out. I literally think I would have went insane. Because Neka, you know me, I'm overly committed. Like, if I'm with you, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't divorce over some of that stuff, but I would have been unhappy. And she would have been unhappy because my unhappiness would have led to, you know, heated discussions. I don't want to say arguments.
Argument.
Shut up. And Neka actually got a glimpse into it. When Neka came down, that's when everything really fell apart.
No. I would not be the cause of the demise in your relationship.
She was. Look, let me tell you. Women, why are y'all so petty? Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you how Neka broke us up, y'all. So, way back, I'm talking... I can
tell you the story, and they can come in and say, yes, I think Neka had something to do with it, or no, Neka didn't. Can we do that?
Yes.
Is it possible for us to take a poll?
Y'all comment on the video below. Did Neka cause the breakup between me and my last girlfriend? Listen, here's what happened, y'all. This is the stupidest thing. 6 to 8 months before Neka even met my girlfriend, we were at JCPenney, it's where I buy my dress shirts or whatever. And I only needed like 2 or 3 shirts, and my girl was trying to get me to buy this purple shirt. 1, I already had a purple shirt that I wore. 2, it's not really my color. Like the one I did have, I wore like twice. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to drop like $45. I'm not going to spend part of that on a shirt I'm never going to wear. Don't want it, not ever going to wear it. And, oh, it looks nice on you, blah, blah. Like, she like was passionate about this shirt. And I'm like, no. I'm not gonna spend money on something I'm never going to wear. Okay, it's like a waste. So I bought a bunch of white shirts or whatever. Fast forward, I would say 6 to 8 months later, Neka comes down. I meet brother-in-law. That was the first time I met brother-in-law, wasn't it? I met brother-in-law, saw the kids. We were at Tanga Outlet. I think you were doing back to school shopping, right? Yep, correct. Back to school shopping. The kids were going crazy, running around the place like Bebe's kids. It was awesome. So we all went out to eat together, and dang, we ended up at the mall. We sure did end up at the mall. We end up back at the mall at JCPenney. Listen to me, y'all. So JCPenney had a sale. It was like buy 2 get 1 free on dress shirts. So I pick up. I'm like, all right, bong. It's time to re-up. So I had in my hand everything that I needed. But there was like 1 slot left over. I literally had like 5 white dress shirts already. I already had the red color I wanted. I already had a couple other colors, like some teals and some blue. I had every color I wanted in the amounts that I wanted. So I was like, dang, I don't know what to get. Neka says, oh, you should get this purple shirt. I even looked at Neka. I was like, I'm not going to wear it. But then I thought about it. I'm like, it's free. I'm not paying for it. I already have enough of everything else I want. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
That's not true.
That's true. I get the purple shirt.
you didn't object at all. You were like, the purple shirt. I was like, yeah, I think it looked nice on you. It really bring out your skin tone. Add some flavor to your work wardrobe.
You said none of that.
I did. And you were like, okay, well, you know. Cool.
Anyway,
I'll get it.
It was the path of least resistance. I can agree to that.
It was very, very.
But we're talking 6 to 8 months ago where I have to come out of my pocket and pay for something I don't want versus here's a free shirt. So
it's not ever really free.
Yeah, you're right.
Like 33% off of each shirt.
Yeah, something like that. So at the end of the day, I buy the shirt. So, and I didn't notice at the time, but my girl at the time had the funkiest attitude after that. Went back to the house, the kids got to see Frank, hung out, blah, blah, blah. They left. Either that night or the next day. So, wow. So, I asked you to get a purple shirt. You don't want it. Neka asked you to get a purple shirt. You just going to get it. I'm like, I looked at her and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, we're not even going to do this. I was like, I'm not going to argue with you about a shirt. And I lost Neka. What the heck? Hold on, y'all. Pause.
We rolling still?
No, I just stopped it because I lost you. But like I was saying, that night or the next day, I get, oh, so wow, you really bought that purple shirt. When I asked you to get the purple shirt, you gave me all this. You ain't want it, blah blah blah. But as soon as she asked you, you just go and do it. I'm like, number one, I was like, number one, I'm not finna do this with you over this shirt. I'm not finna do this with you. And I'm like, you're really mad. Like, she was really mad. She felt some type of way. And I was just like, yo, I was like, I still really didn't want this. And let me tell you, that shirt, I never wore it. But listen, you fast forward to today. Well, I'm gonna fast forward to today later. But anyway, she got mad and I was like, yo, and I explained to her the same thing. I'm like, yo, the circumstances were different. I was like, when you asked me about it, one, I was like, either way, I didn't want the shirt, but I was like, I only got it this time because it was free. And I'm like in the closet with her, and I'm like, look at all these shirts. I was like, I had nowhere else to go. Color-wise, I had nowhere else to go, and it was free. So I took it. To this day, one, never wore that shirt because back then I was like 250 or almost 60 pounds, Nick. I was fat. Now I'm 220 pounds. So I've given away 75, I lied, 90% of my dress shirts anyway. That purple shirt never got worn, along with about 3 or 4 of the other ones never got worn. So which reiterates my point of I'm not gonna wear it. So, but anyway, after that was just downhill. Neka just blew the relationship up, man. You know, and
well, the way you telling the story, it does sound like I'm a homewrecker. Goodness.
You're not a homewrecker. You simply came in. But I tell people, I'll hold you in high regard. You're like my closest friend. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand. They get mad. I think they get mad or jealous. But I'm like, we're not going to have what... You and me aren't meant to have what me and Neka have because me and Neka are friends. There's nothing romantic there. There's never been anything romantic there. It's always been a straight up friendship. You can't always have that in your relationship as well. And that's years of history. I mean, me and Neka go back to 2007. That's a long time. A long time. I mean, we've been through, and I've said it on past podcasts, I mean, we've been through hell and high water together. Like, we've tested this friendship to the very limits. And it's passed with flying colors. So, it's not a competition. It's not a competition of, am I better than her? No. I mean, you my girl, you stand in a different place. But anyway, long short, those are the types of things that you deal with when you live with someone. You can't escape. But again, it saved me. I think not just me. It saved her a lot of headache in the future, man. I mean, I feel like you deserve that true look and that glimpse into your future before you commit to it, but at the same time, your circumstances aren't always going to necessarily permit y'all to live together before y'all get married. And then, of course, you know, there's the outside opinions.
Now, I mean, this is a different opinion, because I do understand why you would think that shacking or living together before you get married is a good idea. But for the same reason that you're wanting to live together before you get married, could you not figure that stuff out without living together?
No.
So I just think about my first relationship,
Mm-hmm.
first marriage. We didn't. I guess by definition we did. We shacked for like a month before we got married. But I had a ring, and we knew we were getting married, and his lease was up, so it was like, okay, look, you can come in, but we're gonna go ahead and get married. You're not about to come in my house and get comfortable, and I'm a 10, 15 year fiance. Don't roll like that. So we had already had plans of when we were gonna get married and when we were gonna when he was compared to when he was gonna move in. I feel like it didn't help at all.
Mm.
Change the dynamics of the relationship at all. It didn't change the dynamics of the marriage at all. It was still the same drama. It ended the same way in a divorce, and so moving in ahead of time didn't make that big of a difference. It was just like, okay, you're aware of the dumb stuff ahead of time. With my second marriage.
Hold on, say that last part you said again because you were breaking up.
With my second marriage, we did not move. We didn't live together before we got married. We didn't live together. We didn't live together. We didn't have sex. We didn't do anything before we got married. Like, we really decided that we were going to do things, differently. That we were going to be Christian, like true Christian about our courtship and our marriage. Start off everything on the right foot, and that's what we did. And it allowed us to be intimate,
mm-hmm.
but not sexually intimate.
Mm-hmm.
So it also allowed us it didn't allow room for us to front. I feel like sometimes people go into a sexually intimate relationship and they either overlook nonsense and dumb stuff because of the intimacy, because of that type of intimacy, or they continue in with the relationship even when there is no relationship because of the intimacy. So because we didn't do any of that before we got married the first time around, we had opportunity to just be really upfront with each other. To just, are you jiggling your chest?
Shut up. Go ahead.
Oh. It gave us the opportunity to just be upfront. So the things that people are saying, oh, I need to move in, or I need to live with a person before we get married to really see how life would be like with that person. But you could do all that stuff and not live with a person. And we hung out all day. We went grocery shopping together. We looked at each other's bills. We analyzed budgets. We took different little vacations and things like that where I was able to see his morning face. He was able to see me in my satin cap and my rollers.
Did he see the mask?
He saw the green mask. He did. He saw the green mask. He saw the white mask. He saw the good skin. He saw the bad skin. I mean, we were able to do that. Now, fair enough. My husband now was a really good friend of mine before we got married. So a good bit of that, comfortable, a good bit of the reason why we were so comfortable was because we were good friends.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from just being good friends, we still had that opportunity to just be real with each other. So we didn't need to live with each other for an extended period of time before we got married, when we feel like we went into our marriage and fully aware of what was going to happen. I knew he snored. I knew what his feet looked like. He knew what I looked like in the morning. He knew what I was going to look like going to bed. Like all that stuff, and we didn't have to work together to do that.
You're right. But some things didn't. Andrea said this on the last podcast. Sometimes people put out this image of themselves or this fake person or front person for you to get to know and fall in love with, and then you find out who they really are. I'm not saying my ex-girlfriend was two-faced or anything like that, but in living with her, she relaxed. When she relaxed, the stuff that I used to see, I stopped seeing. So it became a thing of me really starting to see more of her personality came out. And I asked her, because I mean, the thing that I had a problem with was her level of cleanliness. Not personally, but just the house as a whole. I had a big problem with it, and she just didn't care. Like, she thought it was funny. Like, and I'd be dead serious. Like, yo, why is your pancake from 8 o'clock in the morning still sitting here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the coffee table? Like, that. You laughing and
visual of a stale pancake. Just
yo, I'm not even
exaggerating. I'm ready
exaggerating.
to be thrown in trash. Like, not even put away
Yeah.
in the oven to front like I cleaned up or nothing.
And you scare a man like me because I want to have children. So I'm like, if you not gonna clean up behind you,
you're not gonna clean up behind the kids.
yeah, and they're gonna look at you and say, "Oh, that's how I'm supposed to be," and they're gonna do the same thing. But she, in her mind, she said she didn't feel like it was a big deal or anything that should cause a problem. But I'm like, but it is. Like, nobody wants, and that's the thing. Part of the problem too was my profession. I taught, so it's like you don't want to be teaching all day, and then you come home to the same chaos that you see all day at work. But beyond that, I was just like,
anybody's profession. Nobody wants to, be in that situation.
True, but I mean, she really wasn't feeling me, and then it wasn't my house either. Now, she never pulled the big boy card and said it's my house or anything like that. So but out of respect for that, me being in her house, I didn't make as big a deal of it as I would have as it been my house too. So I was just like, all right, if that's how you're gonna be, then if you basically played that card in a silent way. Well, I'm gonna do what I want anyway. Now, she said I made her feel like she was walking on eggshells. I don't know how, because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna bring it to you a couple times, and once I see you not gonna change it, all right, I'll adjust accordingly. So I withdrew on some things. I'm like, I don't want to be around that, so I'm not gonna be in a position where I'm looking at it. So I'll go up in the loft, or I'll go in a different part of the house, so I won't have to see it or whatever. It was just that. It was just the unwillingness to compromise, and I'm like, and here's the other thing I did, and I've said this in other videos, and y'all need to do this. In any part of your relationship, when you're in territory you're not used to or don't know about, and you seek advice, go to people who have the experience. For example, married people. When I had issues or whatever, or things I need to think about, the only people I talked to were married people. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, call a couple homeboys. Yo, this is what's going on, man. Like, you married, like, is this something I should expect to change, or should I? And all of them, all my homies was like, yo, what you see is what you gonna get. She might change a little bit, it might get a little better, but what you see is what you get, because you got to realize she wants to be married. Once she gets that ring, y'all have the ceremony, y'all married, she ain't got a reason to really improve, because she has what she wants now. And I get that to a certain extent, and I know that's not always the quote-unquote case, but it makes sense.
I think that's a childish and an immature person that's not ready to get married, because as a person who's looking, I guess it's different for me, because I've had the privilege of doing my marriage over, per se, and getting it right the second time, or rather learning from the mistakes that we made the first time around. And I do feel like some of the things that you're saying is absolutely true, and unfortunately you're going to have people like that. But then I feel like that goes towards the maturity level of the people that you're dealing with, or the person that you're trying to have a marriage with, or be in a marriage with. It's not fair to feel like what you see is what you get, and it's never going to get better. If you're in a marriage with someone, or you're trying to grow a relationship with a person, you should be able to come to that person with your concerns and say blah 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 blah. Now, if that person doesn't take your concerns in consideration and start making some kind of changes, or maybe it's a discussion that you guys have, then that's not the person that you need to be with at that time. Or maybe that person still has some maturing to do. And so but I feel like I honestly feel like you guys were dating for a year or so before you actually shacked up and moved in together. I feel like you already saw those things.
Here, let me tell you.
Actually moved in, but when you moved in, it was like, okay, this is what my future is going to be like. Let me digress.
Let me answer that. No, let me tell you, because when it came up, I saw it a few times, and I was like, maybe she forgot. But when I started noticing, like, this was left out, or that was left out, or this, I'm like, yo, I had to talk to her. I was like, what's going on? Well, you know, I just be, and I was like, yo, when you had your apartment her apartment never looked like that. The only mess that was ever in her apartment was stuff like she let mail pile up, which everybody does, and maybe some clothes every once in a while, but like the food thing, never. And I was like, well, she was like, well, I would clean up before you came over. So I'm like, so now that I live here, you feel like you don't have to clean up now? Like, it just...
I mean, was she like that when you guys were just roommates?
She stayed in her room the whole time. I rarely went into her room. Rarely. Because remember, when she was my roommate, she had a boyfriend at first. So then they broke up. Then we started hanging out, but I was...
Another. Okay.
Let me tell you, I already knew they was gonna break up, but let me tell y'all, because I know y'all heard that, it's like, oh, that's foul. No, she had a boyfriend when she moved in with me in my apartment, because she was moving to the south or whatever. I had 2 jobs, so I was never home anyway. It was school, off, home, shower, Clark's Bostonian, where I sold shoes, because I was a Black Al Bundy, and if I'm lucky, I get home by 9:30, 10 o'clock, 30 to 45 minutes of Xbox, sleep, wake up, rinse, repeat. That was my life. Like, never saw her. Never. You know what I'm saying? She would go, and then even when the days I had off, she would stay in her room and talk to him. So there's very, very little interaction.
Why did you guys break up? Why did they break up? I'm sorry.
Oh, he felt like her and I were probably doing something, and basically the distance.
Uh-huh.
But her and I talked about that relationship later on in our relationship, and they should have never been together in the first place with some of the stuff she told me. But yeah, that's why they broke up. And here's the thing. There was nothing between me and her. Her and I just organically, after a while, when we started hanging out, going to the movies, we're both really nice people and really great people and genuine people. So I was like, oh, I can trust you. Oh, I can trust you too. Never had it. Well, I'm not going to say we never had a trust issue. But yeah, that's just what it ended up being. So you fast forward. What the heck? My phone ain't never make that noise. You fast forward to the relationship, and it's just those minor and finite details. I just, can't do that, yo. Can't do that. I'm like, especially because of the sacrifices that I was making. That's what really irked me. Like, we had a discussion about stuff I was doing or stuff like that, and I would change, you know, and I would change and make the adjustment. But when I ask you to do it, it's World War III, and you don't want to do nothing. And I can't really push the issue like I want because it ain't my house. So it's like I can't really tell you what to do in your house. So
I mean, I get that. I guess it's difficult for me to understand, you know, how is it that you're with a person for a year and a person can only front but so much. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
Front but for so much. You can only front but for so long. And so, you know, when I think about it like that, it's like, okay, well, how do you be with a person for a year and then say when we moved in together, the person seemed like a completely different person? That person need to get paid to be an actor to be able to move on to that character.
It wasn't that they were.
For a year.
It wasn't that she was a different person. She just didn't let me purposely. I would say purpose. I don't know with the word purposely. She just didn't let me see it. It's just. I mean, but you can control it because here's the thing. You knew when I went to work. You knew when I got off work. And in hindsight, I still had 2 jobs the whole time we were together. So there's you pretty much had all day to straighten up and do what you had to do before I would see it. And typically it's me coming over, showering, and we like Netflix and chill or whatever. It's not like I'm really at the house. But when I live with you, I'm at the house. Like on Saturday, I'm waking up and I'm at the house, you know, every day to see the stuff. You know, even when you walk in the house and your pet cat is chewing on a pork chop bone from last night in the middle of the living room when you get off from work, that's a problem for me. Why does he have access to this pork chop bone from last night?
Probably you're an idiot.
Yo, I'm literally, we could call a mutual friend. This mug, you could ask Joe. Joe saw it too. Joe was like, shoot, I was about to ask that mug if he wanted a napkin. Like literally, you know, when you walked in that house, he's just sitting in the middle of the floor with a pork chop bone. And I'm like, yo, really?
I mean, it's cheaper than fine and got a thing, a chew toy.
What you not about to do? But anyway, that was that for me. It ended. I think she's better off. I think I'm better off. We're still really cool. No beef, no drama. We just, like I tell people, we outgrew each other.
Yeah.
We grew in two
I
different
think the
directions.
outgrew. I think it was just. I don't think you guys are on the same page. And honestly, I think you would have figured that out whether you have moved in together or not. But the fact that you kind of like, wow, you know, it just became more apparent. I think it goes back to the fact that when you're in a relationship with a person that you profess to love and want to spend the rest of your life or contemplating that, I think you need to be real and upfront. There's no questions about it. You know, hey, I'm a slob. I'm gonna be okay with that? No, I'm not gonna be okay with that. Well, you know, in friends. I mean, I just feel like it's such a waste of time. Like, I look at how long you guys were together, and you come to the conclusion how long you were together.
You froze. Wait, you froze.
The
wait,
marriage.
You froze. You said how long we were together and what?
How long you were together, how much you invested in that relationship, and even the fact that you were contemplating marriage and working towards the steps, you know, to financially get yourself ready to marry this person, only to realize, you know, that this isn't what you want. Now, I understand that, you know, you have those situations where you realize that you and the person are not compatible and it's not going to work. People that you're going to walk away before you get, you know, even more. But I feel like for people who walk away and be like, you know what, this person really showed me their true colors all, you know, a year and a half, 2 years into the situation. It's like, why did you waste somebody's time a year and a half, 2 years into the situation? Like, stuff like that upsets me. I don't know if that's maybe because I'm thinking about it from that's my homeboy, don't waste his time like that, or if it's just in general, you know, stop. I just feel like we're too old for that. Period.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta live with you to realize you're a slob. I mean, come on now. I gotta realize. I just think that's too much. That's too much time. Too much of an investment.
It was.
And then I feel like it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough love, because you're never gonna walk into fully knowing exactly what the person is like, because the first year or 2 to maybe 3 years, you have to work on cohabitating. Mm-hmm. But you should be working on cohabitation, not working on getting to know Mr. Hyde because you've only known Dr. Jekyll this whole time, you know?
Word.
Like, that's the part that I don't feel like you should ever go into a marriage like that, because it is a transition. You have to figure out how to live together and coincide in the same space. But that's whether you're married or whether you have a roommate. You know, mm-hmm. It's the same. You know, it's the same meshing together. When you start living with a person, you know, you're no longer selfish. You have to share your space. But when you're talking about, I didn't even realize this person was like this, and I done wasted a year and a half, 2 years, and that make a person want to cuss. That's
did.
Not cool. That's not cool. I don't waste it. You don't get time back. You don't get time back. So if you're gonna go into a relationship with somebody and hey, you know what? I snore. I fart in my sleep. You gonna be okay with that? I wash the dishes at night. I leave the dishes in the sink all day, but I wash them at night. You know, I don't like washing the dishes. You know, you like washing dishes? Because I don't like washing the dishes. You know, somebody gotta like washing it. I mean, you just gotta put that stuff out there. We're too old for this.
That's the thing. Everyone's not comfortable enough with themselves to put themselves out there. Like, that's how I am with people. Like, when I meet someone, look, here's where I am in life. Here's my life plan. Here's what I'm working towards. Here's where I'm at with it. This is me. I'm busy. I'm probably not going to call you back. You better text me or email me, matter of fact. I work a lot, blah, blah, blah. Actually, that's about to change. But, yeah, I let people know what it is. I play video games. I DJ. I'm into a lot of different things. But here's my focus and concentrations. Here's what I want out of the future. Like, this is me. You know what I mean? To know the rest or to get a greater detail about what I'm saying, you got to be with me and be around me to know. And everyone, and here's the other thing though, she didn't really know herself that well. I figured that out too, which was fine. But my thing is this: Robert Wilson Jr., the way he is right now, is not perfect for his future wife right now. She's gonna come into my life and introduce new elements and new things, and I may have to tighten some things up. I may have to let some things go. You know what I mean? But the thing that I want is I want to know that you're willing to do the same for me. Because if that's a one-way street, I can't do that. Why are you being ignorant?
Oh, cause I didn't know you could see me because you were frozen.
No.
But you could see me still?
Yeah, I'm still frozen. Well, anyway.
Oh, you're not frozen anymore, but you were.
It's Skype. It's tripping.
See?
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That to me, that was the deal breaker. When I saw, wow, I looked at what I sacrificed, and I asked you to sacrifice one thing. Can you clean up behind yourself? Not me. Clean up behind yourself. You're not willing to do that for me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. But
Woo!
That was it for me. So to me, it was an invaluable lesson. And like Neka said, do you have to move in with someone before marriage before you get to know them? Not necessarily. But see, y'all had a longer pre-existing friendship too. That helps too. Because when you friends with somebody, you don't care. Like,
that's the point. I mean, we did have a history. Like we knew. I pick on him a lot. I like this. He's been trying to get with me since my kindergarten graduation, which, you know, I kind of feel like that's true. But
oh my God,
we didn't really become cordial until we were in high school, and we weren't all the time. It was very sporadic, like once every blue moon. But we knew each other. Our families knew each other. No big deal. Before we decided to start dating, it was almost like we had to convince ourselves that maybe we should do this because we had become pretty good friends. We were hanging out more often, but I wouldn't say that we were the best of friends. It wouldn't have been like marrying a Robbie or marrying a Joe. More like marrying somebody that you know, that you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
We still had to grow. We still had to get to know. We had to become friends. We were acquaintances, but we had to become friends.
Gotcha.
We at least became we became good. We became good enough friends before we got married for it to have benefited our marriage. But it does make a difference, you know, because you don't have to worry about fronting. That person already knows you're nuts, you know. And so that did take alleviate a lot of the, you know, unnecessary stress and drama. But even if we weren't friends, you know, I feel like both of us, all right, look, you know what, pinky toe is a little deflected. I mean, you okay with that because it hangs over the corner of my flip flop.
It does,
you know,
too.
We had that type of friendship where we could say that, you know.
Yep.
And he picks on stuff, and you know, I pick on his man boots, like I pick on your man boots. You know, I have a thing for man boots.
You do.
I do. I don't know why, but I don't know, Rob. Like I said, I just feel like we're too old for that. Like I shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to do that. I mean, we really should. It's just a compatibility thing, you know, while you're scouting or looking for a mate or someone that you might possibly. And maybe the first thing you need to see is, okay, is this person gonna be upfront with me? Is this person gonna be real with me? Because there are some, but the important things you shouldn't. And that's where I feel like don't waste people's time because it's unnecessary.
Well,
I think that could be a whole nother podcast.
It will be.
People wasting people's time.
Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up because Skype is acting stupid right now. But we hope you all learned something from this. If you're on SoundCloud, look up She Said He Said 16 on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, She Said He Said 16 on SoundCloud. Also, the Facebook group She Said He Said 16. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, you can leave them below the video. Same thing on SoundCloud. Also, if you want to be a guest, email us. She said he said 16@gmail.com. I just had a guest last week, Andrea. She did a great interview. It was awesome. But we want to hear from you guys, give you more feedback, and we back on schedule. We was off for a while, but we back.
Back on those fields.
We not. All right, y'all. We see y'all.
We're working on it.
We are. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.